Hey guys, and welcome to the 10% Fitter Method Show. Today is Thursday, and today we're talking about all things exercise. Right? Just remember, 10% Fitter focuses on four components of health because in order to be the best you can be, you have to address all four. First one is healthy mindset. Second is going to be your internal health, your blood chemistry, your brain chemistry. Third one is going to be your nutrition, and fourth one today is exercise. So we kind of covered the first three throughout the week. And now we're talking about exercise. What we're discussing with exercise today is covering the biggest mistake that people make. And that mistake has to do with not programming. You're getting in the gym, right? You're excited. You're like, all right, I'm going to go and work out. But what are you trying to accomplish from your workout? Too often with our workouts, we're thinking about very simplistic ways. I'm going to go burn calories. There's so many different ways to burn calories. Why only, address that one thing if you can burn calories while doing a bunch of different things, helping your back pain, helping your performance at work if you're doing physical stuff, helping your repetitive actions at work if you're doing something that creates issues in your body, whatever it may be. You need to understand that there's a specific way you can work out that's going to benefit other areas. It can benefit your stress management. We can work out in a way that helps you with stress, and not all workouts do that. We've talked about that, but at the same time burn calories. So today we're going to be talking about what does a program look like and what does it mean to actually program. So starting out, let's take a look at principles of programs, right? So first principle of programming is it's selected based on specific need, right? So I'm going to talk about some specific options and specific needs that you may have here in an upcoming slide, but right now you just need to understand you should have a specific focus for the workout. There should be an outcome from every workout, from every week and every month and every mesocycle, which is usually about 12 weeks. You program these things out and you build on them, and there's always a specific focus. Create enough damage. That's one of the foundations of exercise. You have to create enough damage in your body in order for your body to go and begin the healing process that's going to create an adaptation that's going to either build muscle, create hormones, lose fat, increase performance, whatever it may be. But you have to create enough damage. Provide the right building blocks, right? You need to make sure that you give your body the right building blocks to build on. So if your body doesn't have the right nutrition, you're thinking you're going to help yourself, but you're just working out, you can't really progress much. Yeah, you may be getting a little bit stronger, but you can't out-train a poor diet if you're trying to do weight loss. You can't get performance if you're not doing a good job with your diet because your body doesn't have the right building blocks to create what it wants to create internally. You work out and you send a signal to your body, hey, I want you to create X change. But then your body goes and say, okay, give me Y resources to go and do that. But if you didn't give it the resources necessary, you just signal for the change is not really going to occur how it should occur. And then progressive in nature. This is one of the biggest mistakes that you see people do. I know these guys that are your gym heroes, right? I come in and try to give them advice in the gym and they're like, dude, I've been working out since before you were alive, when Nautilus equipment was around and all this stuff, right? I love these guys. I love picking their brain because some of the old school stuff they do is still working. But here's the thing. They've done the same, some of them done the same workout since, that time. Same 3 sets of 10 reps over and over and over. It's not progressive. Your body's not going to adjust, not going to get as much from it as it could. So yeah, you're getting a little benefit, but you're missing out on a lot. So let's dive right into, and by the way, guys, chime in comments. Welcome to 10% Fitter Method Show. If you guys are just joining, we're talking about programming and exercise. Let me know where you're from. Feel free to ask questions around, hey, this is kind of what I'm trying to accomplish. What kind of program should I use? Or exercise-specific stuff. Feel free to chime in with comments, and especially love to hear where you guys are from. But anyway, so specific need, right? So what are specific needs that we can get from our programs? What are these outcomes that we should focus on? And based on the need, you're going to use a different program to match that need, right? So weight loss. You're going to do specific things in weight loss. And this is, once again, it's not cookie cutter. I could tell you, here's this exact program you need to do for weight loss. That's not it, because there's probably 10, 20 different programs we could use within weight loss, but they also accomplish other things. Usually stress and weight loss, stress management and weight loss are coupled together, especially in 10% Fitter method. So we want to pick programs that are going to match the intensity that your body needs with a state of stress that you're in that's specific to the weight loss you're trying to accomplish, right? So some examples can be like, if we talked about this before, if you need energy in the morning, you're waking up tired and groggy because your body hasn't spiked your, energy because of stress response not spiking, let's do a high intensity workout. Get after it, get out of breath, short duration, high intensity, bam, 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 spike that energy, creates that afterburn so your body metabolism spikes, and now you ride out the energy throughout your day. Now, if you're stressed out, maybe it's more of a strength-based program. Maybe it's real heavy, bust out a few reps, now rest a long time. So we don't keep signaling to the body that it's under stress and is trying to get away from something, because consistent elevated heart rate makes your body think there is a danger, right? So you think you're de-stressing because you're working out, but you're actually causing a bigger problem to your brain physiologically because of stress. So weight loss is that example. Endurance, right? If your program is focused on endurance, maybe you're noticing, hey, I'm playing with my kids and they're killing me. Like, I can't keep up. Like, I was playing with my kid the other day, and guys, I'm a health coach, but I'm not a fan of cardio and endurance. So I was dying. I was like, man, I really got to go and do something different because my kid is killing me right now. So, but maybe you need endurance for work. Maybe you're noticing that when you go in long bouts of activity at work, and I don't mean even physical endurance, mental endurance is impacted by health and endurance training. And there's specific programs there. Maybe it's more cardio related. Maybe it's circuit training where you're continuously sustaining sets of, 3-5 minute long sets and different things like that. But once again, even there, specific to what kind of endurance you need, you would program the program that way, right? If it's long distance running, it's not just about running long distances to get better at long distance running. You need to improve your metabolism, your active metabolism, how your body utilizes fat, and that'll make you better runner. Not for weight loss, but for energy utilization. Building strength. Hey guys, if you're just joining, by the way, we're talking about today, biggest mistake people make with workouts is they just don't program, right? And we're talking about what programs are, how they work, and how to structure them, and how to basically think about how to create programs. Chime in with questions. Let me know where you're from. I'd love to hear some feedback and stuff like that. But anyway, now if you want to focus on building muscle, right? And even then, I could use a muscle building program in a weight loss cycle because I want to increase how much calories that person uses per day at rest. By adding a pound of muscle, you can increase anywhere from 35 to 50 calories per day consumed at rest. So we can add some muscle. Now that person doesn't have to yo-yo as much, losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight, because we increase their natural musculature, right? So with building muscle, typically like 6 to 12 repetitions, 4 to 6 sets. It depends on kind of what you're focusing on. And that's what you're really focused on there. Now, building strength programs. Say you're noticing, and this is where a lot of times people think strength and muscle, if we don't really understand, we think strength and muscle is the same thing. It's not. You can get more muscle and get stronger, but gaining more muscle is not necessary to get stronger. What if I've worked with many women, I still do obviously, but women, believe it or not, women love to push weight. When you take the woman away from the concept of weights make you bulky and all this stuff, you start to put more weight on the bar and a woman puts in work, it becomes a motivator like no other. I love seeing women squatting their body weight, double body weight, all these things. And it creates their desire to do more. But anyway, so strength could be neurological strength. You could use low reps, and that's where it's really your neurons, your nerves that create that strength. So I want you to think about, right, you hear stories, a car fell on a kid and a woman picked it up. Never in her wildest dreams could that woman actually lift that car on her own consciously. But when she saw that danger with their kid, that all those nerves in the body fired up to create that strength. That has to do with neural drive. So like your power athletes, some of them are small, but they're really powerful and strong because they're fast, they're explosive. So building strength and building muscle is not one and the same. Building strength is usually going to be 5 reps or less. That's where we're usually focusing on building strength. The more reps you do, the less sets you have to do to create enough damage in the muscle to rebuild it, right? So the less sets you do, the more reps you need. The more reps you do, the less sets you need, so on and so forth. Now, corrective, that's another form of programming, right? I can work on weight loss at the same time as I can work on building strength. At the same time, I can correct a back issue, a hip issue, a knee issue, a shoulder issue, a neck issue, whatever it may be. because you program exercises that fit all those parameters and you select them based on specific areas of need. So like I wanted to show you guys a video, but I couldn't upload it, and I was doing a squat, right? I failed that squat, and maybe I'll upload it in the future weeks. And you can see when I failed the squat, my knees caved in. So right away, watching that video, and I video a lot of my stuff because I work out by myself often, and I saw that it was weakness in my glutes, weakness in my butt muscles. They weren't strong enough to keep my knees open because glutes are natural, leg openers, hip openers, abductors. So what am I going to do now? Now I'm going to still focus on my strength training, still focus on my, endurance and just stay in a good shape, but I'm also going to incorporate additional corrective exercises that are going to isolate that area and get it to work better. So that way I don't keep failing in the same issue. I identify a problem, now I create a corrective exercise for it and implement it into my bigger picture plan. So you can do that with lots of different areas. Lots of back pain can be fixed through this, lots of shoulder issues, neck pain, things like that. If you guys are just joining, we're just talking about biggest mistake people make with workouts is that they just work out. They don't program. They come in and just do the same workout over and over, and they don't think about progressive overload and things like that. So then specific and need, right? We talked about work, sport specific is the last thing. So if there's certain things you're doing at work or in sport, right, that we can create programs to get you better at that. If you notice that, okay, I'm sitting at work a lot and my head posture is forward, so my neck is always stressed, okay, let's work on your abdominal strength, let's work on your shoulders and your back so that we pull those shoulders back, drop them, and your neck naturally straightens out. Now it's easier for you to work. So we can be working on weight loss, we can be working on other things while getting you to feel better while you're performing at work and different things like that. Or you're lifting things, moving things, whatever it may be, right? So from there, we want to get into creating enough damage. So I'll tell you guys a story. I worked at my second gym that I was ever at, this was many years ago, for 3.5 years. Actually grand opened this facility, which means that I was the first group of trainers that worked there, brand new members, everything like that. And I was there for 3.5 years. Over that time, by the time I left, many of the same members that joined were still there. And some of them were amazing. They were very consistent, 5 days a week, coming in, hitting these group fitness classes, doing these workouts. But for some reason, many of them didn't look that different 3.5 years later. Yeah, they maintained, but they didn't really get that much better. Why? Check in the box workouts. It's because they simply came in, did a workout, they didn't push themselves enough. Ultimately, they didn't create enough damage to ask from their body to heal, to improve their performance. That's ultimately what happens. So we change when we rebuild. It's not from your workout that you change. You break your muscles down, you break your body down, and then it heals with recovery and rebuilds itself stronger. Why? In case it has to face that stimuli next and wants to be better at it, right? So 90% of difference is in the last 10% of effort. Probably one of my favorite quotes to use in life, and part of the reason 10% fitter. 10% fitter kind of has two sides to it. It has a soft side that talks about we only change a little bit at a time, because then we create habitual long-term changes that are easy and built around our lifestyle, and they can be sustained long-term, and we create permanent change. That's one side of 10%. The other side of 10% is this 10%. Anything you do, how little or how much doesn't matter, but everything you do to your utmost capability. Even if you chose to do something for one rep, one exercise, whatever it may be, to your utmost capability to get this 10% better for the 90% of difference. Pay attention to under recovering. This is huge. Like huge, guys. I can't tell you how important this is. You hear terms over training very often in health world, but that's not true. It's under recovering. And the same thing happens to you in your business world, right? I talk about this all the time as within human sustainability. It's one of the focus points of 10% Fitter method is to make us live in a more humanly sustainable way. So basically from there, we're looking at if you can work as hard as you want to, be it at work or in the gym, doesn't matter. As long as you give your body enough rest from the work that you did to get back to the level of activity that you need to do again. If you can't recover, you have to reduce the workload. If you can recover, you keep going. If you're not recovering, you have to look at increasing the recovery. If it's possible, do more of it. So the point is, it's not overtraining. It's not overstressing. It's not burnout. It's under recovering. That's our society's problem. I've just simplified your work burnout in one very simple concept, and you can apply that across the board, guys. I work with organizations on stress management, and this is the biggest thing that we focus on is how do we get your people to recover faster, to get back to their work day the way that you want them to perform the next day, versus each day losing a little bit of their performance, they maintain it or gain it. And that comes from recovering, right? So from there, once we created enough damage, we want to look into providing the building blocks, right? And just like there is a specific way to train, there's a specific way to eat to match the training plan that you have. You know, yesterday we talked about fats and carbohydrates. Depending on what kind of plan you have, depending on what kind of goal you have, and depending on what kind of body you have, then we determine how much fat, how much protein you should have, how many carbohydrates, different things like that. But ultimately, if you're just starting out, these things are more higher level stuff. Address the basics first, then build on them. But the point is, there is a specific way to fuel to every single thing that you're trying to do and every single program that you use. Perfect example is performance, right? People are like, oh, I want to gain muscle, but they're on a low fat, they're on a low carb diet. Is it possible? Sure, you can do it, guys. Before people start arguing with me, I know people and I've built muscle on keto, but it's so hard to truly be in ketosis and do it because you can't do high protein because high protein will take you out of ketosis. You got to be high fat, and it's hard to build muscle that way. Your body needs glycogen. It helps to build muscle because it spikes insulin and it sends a signal to build muscle and to rebuild the body. So on low carb diets, your performance also goes down in the gym. You're not as powerful. You're not as strong. So everything has to match this bigger picture, and then you see these amazing results start to happen. Not avoiding food but chasing nutrients. This is an important concept, guys. Part of the mindset shift that I want you to make is get away when you're trying to create change. Don't run from a negative. I'm a behavior specialist, guys, a behavior change specialist. I've been doing this for a long time. So I know that if a person wants to be successful with change, I don't care if you want to get better at work. I don't care if you want to lose weight. I don't want to care if you get stronger. Whatever that change is, you don't run from a negative, you run towards a positive. So instead of saying, say you're on a weight loss plan and your workout program, matches to your weight loss plan and you're trying to eat a certain way. So instead of saying, I'm not going to eat too many carbs and just simplifying that way and trying to go low carb, you're going to think I need carbohydrates for my body to perform, but I need complex carbohydrates because I don't want my body just to use them up very fast. I want them to be in my body for the duration of the workout. So maybe I don't eat simple carbs, I eat sweet potatoes, right? So everything has a plan. Everything matches up. And like I said, guys, feel free to ask questions if you have any. Type them into the comments. I have my device here. I can see it. Supplementation based on need, right? That's something that I touch on once in a while, but once again, your body needs building blocks. If you're missing them from your natural diet, supplement. If your body's under more stress than a normal body is, which most of you are, supplement to make up the gap to help your body recover. If your body's under more toxicity than we're designed to be, supplement to help your body detox. You get the point, specific to what your environmental and body needs are. And then from there, last but not least, we get into your progressive in nature. Right, so progressive in nature just means that we want to build on the program. Like I mentioned that story about people going for a gym for 3.5 years, for 3.5 years consistently and hardly seeing the results. Why? They weren't progressive in nature. They weren't adapting their programs. So our body has an amazing adaptability. And I like to use an example of like a lumberjack, right? So a lumberjack can hack wood all day long, right? They got conditioned to that stimuli. But now if I take that axe away and I give them a saw and I make them saw wood, do you think they're going to get tired? Absolutely they're going to get tired. Why? Because they're not conditioned to that stimuli. The body hasn't adapted to it, but our body was well adapted to hacking wood. So we have to modify these things to keep asking from our system something it's not capable of, so it spikes hormones to respond to what we did to create the change that we're looking for. So guys, if you're just joining, we're talking about biggest mistake that people make is with workouts, and basically they're not making them progressive, but overall they're not programming, right? So principles of programs we've discussed: selected based on specific need, they create enough damage, they provide the right building blocks, and they're progressive in nature. So feel free to chime in with any comments that you may have as we finish up. So the body's adaptable, we've got to change it up. You may have heard of things like muscle memory, right? Your body gets used to certain things and you got to adjust and change it up. Some degree of truth to it, but ultimately we just have to keep asking different things from our body. Always slightly outside of our capability, right? it's kind of like a state of flow. I always talk to people, it's great to work slightly outside of your capability because then your body raises performance temporarily. As long as you come back down and recover, you increase your level of performance. When you're asking something your body's not currently capable of, be it a strength feat, be it endurance, be it a mental, thing, whatever it may be, we can achieve that state of flow the same way, but we'll also create progress the same way. So that's when hormones spike because the system says, you're asking something from me that I am not good at. I may have to face that again tomorrow, so I have to go through a change in order to be able to adapt to this and be able to overcome it better next time. So those anabolic hormones, testosterone, insulin growth factor 1, human growth hormone, all are going to spike to help you respond to that stimuli better next time. And then importance of deload weeks, right? We talked about recovery. This is where you have to take a week off and actually recover and let your body catch up. So I'll give you guys a story. Biggest change I ever did with my body personally was March 2015. And I wanted to go and just do like an all-out crazy program and see what can I do in 30 days and actually do like measure with my body's change. I ended up gaining 10 pounds of muscle and losing 10 pounds of fat. It's a crazy number, I know, but guys, you have to understand the crazy program that it was. It was a twice-a-day program. In the mornings, I would come in and I would lift really heavy weights, really low reps, like maybe sets of like between 5 and 3 and sometimes even singles. And then in the afternoon, similar muscle groups, I would come in and do high reps, 10 sets of 10, different things like that, lots of volume. So the first 3 weeks, didn't see no change. And I was working out and my buddy was actually pushing this program. Like, bro, like, come on, man. Like, gotta do better than this. I'm killing. I'm like literally starting to lose sleep because my body's so fatigued. The body was getting so fatigued it was impacting my sleep from workouts. And week 4 rolls around, I start seeing change. And he goes, Anton, just trust. Let's keep going. We keep going. Okay. Week 4 finishes. I maybe saw a couple pound difference here and there. And then he goes, okay, now we're taking a week off. And you're going to see results. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm going to not work out? It's like, we're not going to work out. It's like, we're just going to do some lighter stuff. And we switched to a more, workout. We're both trainers at that time. And we just helped each other, pushed each other and stuff like that, buddy of mine. And during that week, I ended up getting to probably 7 pounds of fat, 7 pounds of muscle lost. My body was finally catching up and adapting to all those things I did for the first 4 weeks. In that recovery week, the change happened. So it's really important to take these deload weeks. And a lot of times we think if I take a week off, I'm going to lose all my strength. Your body doesn't lose strength that way. You're not going to lose results that fast. Now, if you take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, yes, you're going to have some issues there, but a week off, not even necessarily, like I said, a week off, but modifying, going from strength to more recovery, stretching, flexibility, yoga, swimming, Pilates, more of those kind of more not such high intensity workouts, right? And that's what you kind of focus on. So guys, that's what you want to do when you're avoiding working out, or when you're not just working out your program, you're going to get better results. So just some announcements real quick. I'm going to do this show just once a week next week and the week after just to test. I've done it 2 weeks now, 4 times a week, and I want to see how it goes. I lose about 50 followers every time I do the show because people get annoyed by seeing the LinkedIn notification. Not that I really care about it, but I don't want to be annoying. So I don't hear from you guys one way or another where you want more show frequency, less show frequency. Feel free to chime in into the comments so I know, because I just want to deliver what you guys want to know. Knowledge is always free. If you want to learn more, by the way, I have a webinar. If you go to my page, on my profile, under About Me, there is a Calendly link, there is my Zoom webinar link, and there's my webpage. So with the Zoom webinar link, it's September 11th at 11 a.m. Mountain, 1 p.m. Eastern. I will do an assessment live with you. You will get a questionnaire. You will fill out questionnaire at home, and I will go through that questionnaire in my webinar, and you'll be able to uncover all of your internal health issues. We'll be able to pinpoint what are the roadblocks in your journey to success with health, whether it be weight loss, muscle gain, energy, sleep, performance, doesn't matter. We're going to assess 5 different sections in that webinar, and through questions, we're going to be able to assess your symptoms. And based on your symptoms, we can usually deduce and say, here's what are some things going on. I'll provide you some corrective actions for it. So guys, I don't do this often, and this is probably one of my greatest strengths is looking at this internal assessment stuff and understanding people's internal health and corrective actions. This is probably what I made my bread and butter as a coach all my life, as a health coach. So check out this free webinar. It's in my profile. Go click the link, register. When you register, you're going to get the worksheets that you have to fill out prior to the webinar. Once you fill out those worksheets, when I go through mine, you'll understand how to score yourself and stuff like that. So it's not just education. There's going to be a lot of application for you. So register for that. If you want to set up a consultation, guys, just feel free. I give free consultations. I say this openly. I'm not a new coach by any means, but online, my book of business isn't full yet. And I was taught early on as a coach, give all your free time away, and pretty soon you're going to have no free time to give. That's how I built my face-to-face coaching career. That's the same thing I'm doing with my online coaching here. What does that do for you? It gives you free knowledge. It gives you free education in my consultation. So set it up. The calendar is in my profile and about me, under about me. Grab an hour, 30 minutes. We can even go for an hour if you need to, because like I said, I'm not that busy right now. I'm just running a group and a few one-on-ones, and that's it. So take me up on this. Take up the webinar. Schedule a time, and next Monday we'll do a longer show, same time, 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Mountain, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, and we'll focus kind of more of a longer show, put all 4 categories into one show versus breaking them up, and we'll do that for 2 weeks. So just, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining. Like, seeing 19 people watching right now, like, it gives me fuel. It gives me fire to keep going, because I know that people are tuning in and they're getting value from this. And that fuels my ego a little bit, guys. I'm no martyr. I give this for free because it makes me feel good knowing that I'm coming closer to helping my mission of helping 10 million people to realize their potential by impacting their body and their mind. And I want to do this in order to create more human sustainability in the world. So I know that every one of you listening, even if you didn't grasp everything I'm talking about, or if you just tuned in the last minute, just understand, capture the bigger picture of health. Stop looking at trees. Understand the bigger component, because when you see the bigger component of health, you can start to identify where in the world is your biggest issue. By seeing where your biggest issue is, you can start at the root cause. Because when we look, I've talked about this before, when we look at health, kind of the system of health, there's preventative health, which is the roots, it's below ground. There's naturopathic health, which is above ground, but that's more kind of the tree, the branches. And then there is Western medicine that's there to fix symptoms, and that's the leaves. If you start to work from the top down, you may never fix the root cause, because you're addressing every symptom. But if you start from the bottom up, then everything eventually will get better. So that's why I sometimes teach in a way that may not seem like, well, he's not telling me exactly what to do. I'm not telling you exactly what to do because I don't know your body. If you sit down with me in the consultation, I'll guarantee you I'll be able to say, here's where your root cause is, here's what you need to address, and here's why. And this is how we're going to do it. But because I'm talking to myself, to a screen right now, and I don't have, specific questions, I can't tell you specifically what to do. And most coaches have been doing this for a long time. That's how we are. The favorite thing the favorite way for a coach to answer a question, you want to know? Here it is. It depends. Right? That Rafiki stuff from Lion King. Like, it's not because we're trying to be wise and we're trying to be smart. It's because it truly depends. When you know 100 different ways to solve a problem, you have to first truly understand the problem to select which one of those 100 ways are going to best work. That's why assessing your starting point and working with people is so important. Even in consultations, like, I guarantee you, set up a consultation with me, you'll understand exactly where you need to start. And what I believe is, I'll give you all the information. If you're not successful in 30 days, let's revisit and figure it out, because then we know it's not a knowledge issue, it's an application issue, and we may need to work in some format. But if not, we just keep building your knowledge and keep giving you high five. But guess what? Why do I do this? You think I'm a martyr? No, it's smart business. Because if I help you be successful without us ever exchanging a dime, do you think you're going to become a big advocate for me? Of course. You become free marketing, and it's a win-win environment. Everything I do in life, I try to create a quadruple win situation, right? So you got team member, customer, company, competitor. Those 4 taken in mind, and when all 4 try to win, all 4 can win. When you try to win one versus the other, it doesn't. So take me up on this consultation, guys. Go into my profile, grab the link, sign up for the Zoom webinar on September 11th. Guys, you will have your minds blown. You will have your things opened. Most of the time, people come out of consultations, their mouths are like, I don't know what I just got. I just got an information dump. Yes, because I need you to ask better questions. I don't need you to know everything. I just need you to see the bigger picture, so then you can ask better questions. Because all the research is out there. All the data is out there. But until you see that high-level view of your health, how do you know who to listen to? How do you know where to go? How do you know what kind of question to ask? That's what 10% Fitter Show is all about, empowering you with better questions. Guys, so thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you. Like, today, I just feel great, and it's awesome to have that many viewers and listeners. So next Monday, tune back in. And like I said, shoot me. If you guys want to shoot me a DM and say, hey, I really want to learn about this, or drop it into comments, I love to get suggestions. I'm going to start putting other people into the show because I realize I'm not that entertaining. So I'll start having guests and stuff like that in the future. And so that way you guys can get different perspective. I try to show you a broad perspective, but I also know one person talking is not as cool as two people talking, and I also like to argue with people. So if you want to be on the show and you are a health expert, coach, of any sort, anything like that, or if you just struggle with stuff and you want to have a conversation live about some of the stuff and you feel comfortable letting the other people know, shoot me a DM. Let's get on a call. We'll do a live together and help people either together, or we'll break your problems down and help other people that have similar problems that may be afraid to ask questions. So guys, thanks so much and have the awesome rest of your day and the weekend. Have a good one. Bye.